So you finally want to land that dream job? This video is for you if you are in the job market or you're heading into the job market and you want to go in with a strategy and method that is actually going to work to land you the job that you want and not just settle for the job that's available. This is super important, especially if you've been stuck in a situation where you're looking at LinkedIn or looking at TikTok and other programs and you're seeing thousands of people applying for jobs and saying the job market sucks, this, that, and the other. I can promise you that you can create your own job market regardless of what the job market state is right now. I've been in job markets that have sucked and gotten a job for double what I was making before I got into said sucky job market. And it's not about what you're doing, it's actually about how you're handling situations. This is going to be step one, and it's all about the strategy behind the fact. So why even listen to me? I am a director, I've been a business owner, I have reviewed probably over 500 to 1,000 resumes in the last 2 years alone. I have done probably over 150 interviews, I have hired over 40 people, I converse with a lot of really great individuals, and I am around recruiters and business owners all the time, and we're talking about these same exact things. And so I have a little bit of experience in the hiring side, as you guys can tell. But on the flip side, when it comes to getting hired, every single time I have left a job to go to another one, I have doubled my salary, doubled. And I am not talking about like 20 to 40K. I'm talking about like 50,000 to 100,000, right? So it is important to know that it is possible regardless of the job market. And this is what we're going to talk about today, because this is what I usually do in order to land the best positions. If you're ready to get started, number one, what I need you to do is I need you to drop everything that you know or you think you know, and then I need you to mind map. So when you're mind mapping, what I like to do it on a whiteboard, and I like to do it in a way that helps me understand where I want to go. And what I'm really looking for with my mind map is I'm really looking at the skills that I've acquired in my last position and what I liked and what I hated. I like the visual mind map style, but you can also write a pros and cons list. You can write a journal entry. You can do it in whichever way you like. But what I'm looking to understand from my skill set is what is a new skill that I've acquired and how can that help me land my next role. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign job titles to that. So I'm going to pretend, right? I'll give you guys an example, right? I was in a position where I went in as a general marketer, and from that, I had to edit the website. And so little by little, I started getting into keywords because of search engine optimization. If you're in digital marketing, you know what I'm talking about. Well, what's the next step from keywords? Pay-per-click marketing. So I do keyword research. I just didn't have the buying skill set for pay-per-click marketing, but I did know that pay-per-click specialist jobs were getting paid more. So what did I do? I listed what I had done with keyword research, with SEO for my past jobs, and then I mind mapped my way into understanding what I needed to do to get a pay-per-click specialist role. And so that was getting a Google Ad certification, which was free. From there, I applied for a pay-per-click specialist role. I explained the skills I had learned through SEO. I had explained how I understand SEO deeply and I understand the SEO to pay-per-click connection. And so I was able to land that pay-per-click specialist role. From there, as a pay-per-click specialist, I started training other people. And so shortly thereafter, then I was looking at operations, processes, SOPs, training, mentoring, and that's what landed me into a management role, because I already had experience in management, just didn't have the formal title. From there, in pay-per-click management, there's a lot to do with media planning. So how do we actually spend money? Is there other channels we can spend money on? How does the strategy work together? And I have these skill sets that were developed over a period of time, and therefore director of media planning role. So you guys are getting the situation, right? I have never applied for a role within my same title. I, in fact, don't really think that you should if that's not something that you want to do. It's not going to differentiate your skills as much. But when you mind map and you understand the skill sets, then you can either bridge the gap or use those skill sets to apply for that next role. From here, now you're understanding what needs to happen for your resume. So here is what I will tell you guys is really important to understand. A lot of people will tell you, use your resume, and every single time that you apply for a new position, you need to edit the resume to match whatever keywords are in the descriptions, to blah, 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 blah. And so all of a sudden I have seen users with 100 resumes. You don't know what is not working if you have 100 resumes. Even more so, me on the other side, I tell you that when I'm building a job description, I'm also going to ChatGPT. I'm looking at other job descriptions for the same exact position, right? We're all kind of borrowing each other's homework, if you will. So it's not necessary. It is not needed, because a lot of the times the keywords are pretty similar. But what you do want to do is you want to go to the LinkedIns, the Indeeds of the world, find job descriptions that matches. Here is my formula for every single resume I create. So let's say I'm going from pay-per-click to media planning, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to find every role that could possibly mean a media planning role. So media planning, maybe head of marketing, head of growth. All of those roles tend to be a media planning role in a way. Advertising, so on and so forth. Then I'm going to go through and pull all of my keywords from that. Pull the job descriptions that I like, and I'm going to do for two things. One is a lateral move, and one is an increase move. What do I mean by a lateral move? So I'm a director, I'm looking for director positions. However, there's positions that are going to be above me, senior director, VP positions, etc. And so in those cases, I want to have two completely different resumes, right? So one for the director roles or lateral move, or one for a little bit of a higher role. From there, that's where you're going to use ChatGPT. So now you're going to put in all of this information into ChatGPT, and you're going to have it give you resumes. The prompt for this ChatGPT prompt is down below in the description, so you can literally just borrow and take it. But from here, what you're going to do is for every job title, you're going to have two resumes. One is a lateral move, one's an increase move, and that is what you're going to use in order to actually land that role and edit your variables. People always ask me, what is the best resume template? Is there a better resume template than others? The answer to me is yes. So all of us have seen these like Canva templates that aren't, to be honest, a little bit entry level to me. And I know a lot of other managers see it the same way. Unless you're applying for a creative role, meaning a graphic designer role, a video editing role, whatever, right? A creative role. Those resumes tend to be the resumes that people that are just getting out of college are using to stand out. And so because of that, when I look at it, I tend to see someone that's younger and least experienced, and that may not be the vibe that you want to give off. The resume templates that I do recommend is actually a couple of them, and it is coming from Harvard. So Harvard's Career Center releases their top resumes every single couple of years, and they really have this bullet point resume that I love, and it's been the resume that has helped me put the right things in there. And whenever I see it, I just know that this is a person that has done their research. It's very easy to look at and skim. The reality is that when we are looking to hire someone, we get hundreds of resumes, and 95% of them are people that aren't going to qualify for the role. That's just a sad reality. And so we are not going to look at a resume for longer than 30 seconds. I'm going to skim it, and I'm going to see if this is somebody I want to move forward and look a little bit further into, or somebody that I'm going to skip. So if your resume is not skimmable, it is going to be a problem. For that reason, I do recommend going with this bullet point resume as your template, so that way you have the things you need in the right way. Finally, something I do recommend is that if this is a job that you really, really like, try to skip the easy applies on LinkedIn as much as possible. Actually, you know what? LinkedIn might not even be the best place for you to get a job right now. I would actually Google jobs. So director of marketing roles, and then see all of the jobs that are coming up. So Indeed, LinkedIn, etc. And again, this is for jobs that you really, really want. Go into their website and see if they're listing it on their website, and if you can apply directly to their ATS system. This tends to have several people receiving notifications. So number one, not just a recruiter, but also probably the hiring manager, whereas to the LinkedIn, hundreds of resumes won't. So you're going to have an easier time getting somebody's attention. And two, most people aren't doing it. So they're going to have a pile that's a little bit lower in terms of volume than the pile that's on LinkedIn Easy Apply. Because the Easy Applies, you may see 500 applicants, 1,000 applicants. I promise you, a lot of people are clicking on that button because it's Easy Apply. And so you might get lost in that shuffle, versus if you go into that company's website and actually go through and see that the role's available and apply through their ATS system, like a job score, greenhouse, or whatever. Again, it is just going to give you a little bit of a higher chances of getting that interview. After you do that, if you really want this role, you really think this is the role for you, most of the time the roles are going to have something in there that's going to tell you who's hiring for it. So this position is reporting to the director of marketing. This position is reporting into this individual. Like, they will tell you. And then you can go back on LinkedIn and search for that person. Search for the director of marketing for the company you're applying for. Let's say you're applying for Coca-Cola, you're applying for a marketing specialist role. They're reporting to the director of marketing. Search for the director of marketing of Coca-Cola, and once you find them, what you're going to be able to do is message them, let them know that you're you've applied, you're excited to connect with them, even if this is not the right role for you. You're excited to stay in their networks, and it shows initiative. You want to go one step farther than that? You can email somebody on that team. And by email, I mean LinkedIn. Find somebody from that team's LinkedIn and just let them know, hey, I've applied for this position. I'm really excited. I love to speak to someone at the company and see how it is, see your thoughts, have an open conversation with them, get to know them, get that person to become a sponsor for you internally. And if the conversation goes well, ask them for a referral. Because 9 times out of 10, a company is going to move up any referrals, even if they are not 100% matches for the job, and they're going to interview them, honestly, almost as a favor to the employee. And so where you may not have had a chance, now you have a 100% chance of an interview. So these are the steps that you're going to take. And if you're wondering, how am I going to organize myself? This sounds like a crazy project. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I've added an Excel spreadsheet template also below in my description. It's completely for free, goodness. And it is something that you can download and utilize to organize yourself through the job search process, right? Have all of your resumes linked, all of your resumes organized, have all of the jobs ready to go so that you actually have a place to be. And in the next one of these videos, in the next session, we're going to talk about interview tips, because you want to make sure that once you have that foot in the door, how are you interviewing? Think of your resume as the marketing material for yourself. You are a product of the interview. So how do you, as a product, sell yourself? And that's your resume. But what's really going to close the deal is that interview. So if you're excited about it, or if this video was any helpful, or any of the materials I've attached below is helpful to you, I would really love if you could subscribe to my channel, activate the notifications, and comment down below what are the things that are really scary for you in this job market, what are the things that you think would be really beneficial, and what are the questions that you have for the interview stage. I'd love to take your questions into consideration as I'm creating that next video. And I wish you guys the best of luck in the job market. I know it's hard, but you've got this, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.